fastest players in the field, like Carl Jr. and Pac
Yes.
later, and then you really know what's been going on behind the scenes. So.
But we can quickly just, I can ask you, like, if you had to put like a little bit of channel points on a bet here, do you think Sinners or Karmine are gonna take this home?
I think if the thing that I'm predicting happens, that Sinners lead them into very difficult maps, I think Sinners might have it.
Okay. You know
but
what?
if KC are able to ban away some of the maps and pick some easier maps early, then I think KC takes it.
I will put my faith in Bren. I'll say KC takes it. And then just to be right.
Okay.
Like against yours, Sinners, right?
Yep.
But now we're back into the picks and bans here. You can see all the maps here, slowdown, slippy slides, reps, they're all showcased, and now they'll take turns banning one map each and then picking a map each.
Yeah, Sinners the first to ban here. I think you ban something pace-based. I don't know what you would call the easiest map. Maybe something like freestyle or slowdown.
Gyroscope is probably the most,
yeah, you got it right. Gyroscope out. Now, OTAC, I would probably just ban Flip of Faith.
I think, yeah, arrow pipes is so, we just talked about it, it's so dangerous, everybody's gonna make mistakes on it. I think if they're gonna pick a difficult map, freestyle, sure, and apparently parkour, very difficult, Flip of Faith, very difficult. We'll have to see what the other team picks now.
What does Sinners go for? Flip of Faith picked, they left it open, and of course, Kappa's gonna select it there. Now, OTAC, the next to choose. Really, he has a lot to go for here. And whatever they want, they can have it as the third track.
I would pick some pace-based. Agility Dash is very pace-based. Back and forth. Okay.
Instant slowdown choice by Kappa there.
Holy,
he wanted it.
That's great. That's 2 new maps we haven't seen before being played now.
The only map we haven't seen then would be arrow pipes.
Yes. So we'll of course have some previews of those jumping in once we get into the maps here. But we are seeing OTAC picking a map right now.
Yeah, just taking his time, making sure he makes the right choice.
They're obviously discussing what the best course of action is here. They also don't know what the pace of the other teams are.
That is also why players hide their personal bests, to really not give away this information before they absolutely have to. Reps chosen, parkour chosen at random, and slippy slides out.
So so parkour is the 7th map. So no like guarantee that we see it, but God, I hope we see it. That was so fun here last time as we saw the other players just fall out of the map so many times.
Come to think of it, have we seen freestyle? I don't think we have. Freestyle is up first. OTAC and Bren versus Tween and Kappa. Their first debut match here in the 2v2 format for both squads. And on a really interesting map. This one has the dirt fling trick that we talked about.
Yes,
except you just do it in the uphill.
There's 2 different ways to do this ending. Either you flip up and drive directly down, or you do a 360 in the air. The 360 is a little bit safer, but quite a lot slower. So we're gonna see what the players here are opting to.
And we are into the game now. First round for both squads. Up the dirt we go. An inside line is often best here, and then you can go for the outside line if you choose. But look at Tween here, just staying on the inside. Slower because of that, but also going to get there sooner, and it's about equal in terms of pace. Just something that he is more comfortable with his teammate going for the other line.
Yes, and Bren is in the lead. We have a very close match here between KC and Sinners. Bren actually showing some really good pace. They want to go for a super low line on this ice wall jump. This is so difficult. We see people going all different heights. OTAC doing it pretty well. Now Bren and OTAC trying to attack, get that ace, but Kappa and Tween not letting it go, and it's going to be down to the identity.
So the identity is coming up. It is a dirt fling like we talked about. There's 2 ways of doing it. You can either do a full flip around, or what's better, is to cancel the rotation and turn left to land earlier. One player missing it, that was Kappa. Bren getting it up ahead of Tween. Otak taking third now, and this could be 2 points for KC. Bren with a mistake, but it's enough to win by 1,300.
Clutching out that ending right there. Holy, just adjusting the line, making sure you can drive through the triangle, still get into the finish, and gets that first place ahead of Tween.
It was quick to realize he could do that. 2-1. The ice jump in the middle almost looks more difficult to manage perfectly than those dirt wall rides, because you have so little time to set it up, and that is what cost Sinners the round primarily.
We also see two different lines coming in there. Some people going for the wide dirt line to get the momentum for this long straight. And then we also saw Tween going for a tighter line, which, of course, you have to drive less track, but you also get less momentum going out of the turn. We have a mistake there.
That was into the wall. The no steering block got him. And now Kappa. Last time he went super high here, he's doing it again. He is literally full setting it up there to land with more speed.
That's actually
on an inside
smart
line. It actually seems to not lose that much. And if you can do that consistently, I would take that line. Sure, any day of the week.
Yeah, getting the speed from jumping really high is nothing bad about it. Otak and Bren in the lead here going into the identity. Can they both make both the jumps here? They get the first ones. Kappa getting a little bit closer. Is he going to be able to overtake in the ending? Otak in the lead. Bren right behind. Is Kappa getting it? He is not, unfortunately. It's going to be an ace coming in here from KC.
Really clean round from Karmine Corp on their map of choice, freestyle. They wanted to start with this, so this is potentially one of their better maps that were available after the bans. So far, they're showing up strong.
Ace. Absolutely. Here, 5-1 for KC at the moment. Strong start coming in versus Sinners. Sinners needs to push it a little bit now, I think.
They're also just probably waiting for their map of choice. This could be, you know, their 8th best map for all we know. But they do look practiced in that high jump line. I really like from Kappa if it's something he's comfortable with. Same for Tween, in the start, going for comfort. But they need to beat their opponents. That's the main priority.
We can take a look at Kappa again once we reach that jump, which is going to happen.
Big mistake from Bren.
We have a mistake here. Now, after this left-hander, we're going to see the jump where Kappa will go up high. Once again, is he going to be making it? He does make it super high. Will get momentum out of that section. Shooting ahead of the opposition right now. Gets an inside line. Otak trying to push it. Is he going to be able to get it here in the ending?
He lands earlier on this downhill and will be faster than Tween. Now the 180 drift here. Kappa getting a good approach. Otak faster though. Does he control the fling here? The timing is everything. Low jump for Otak. Very well executed. He's going to gain a lot of time there. Actually has crossed the checkpoint just so far ahead, a full second. And is that gonna be a draw? Yes, by 3 thousandths.
But KC will take that any day of the week. 6-2, pushing themselves even closer to that match point right now. And if they keep with this pace, I don't think Sinners can do much about it.
Yeah, Otak's winning pace there was incredible. He got everything he wanted just right, and that does put a lot of pressure on the Sinners squad. They need to find an opening. Really, a round where Bren crashes there should be a good opportunity, but Otak holds the fort. Make sure they don't lose more ground to opposition.
Here is that no steer section. You cannot control the car. You gotta drive straight all the way into that reset block, and all the players seem to get it. Kappa, a little bit risky, getting some airtime there, going up high once again. Is it gonna be able to overtake some people because of it? We actually see Karmine Corp with a little bit of a different strategy, getting the inside line on the uphill here, giving them more speed, and hopefully they're gonna capitalize on it. But all 4 players so close to each other, 0.1 separating them. Who's gonna get the ending here? Will Bren get the same ending as he did before? Kappa with a mistake, driving through the checkpoint. That is so unfortunate. Tween and Otak in the lead here. Who's gonna get the final jump? Bren almost made the mistake, but Tween will take it home, making it a draw.
That is a draw indeed. Kappa tried to respawn, but he respawned after getting the ring checkpoint on the wall, and then you're just kind of stuck in a bad loop. But Tween now matching the winning pace. Karmine Corp are in reach with an ace, but we're seeing signs of life on this map for Sinners. But yeah, getting into the rhythm.
If you make a mistake on that checkpoint right before that jump, you are gonna have to full respawn and lose probably multiple seconds because of it.
Yeah, again, we go in the start here. The no steering part is something we commented on. After this upcoming drift, you touch the purple block. At that point, you can no longer steer the car, and then you just have to hope you aimed for the green block, the reset. So here, you have to aim that turn well in advance. We saw some mistakes earlier, but this round is fully clean. All 4 players making it. Now the ice jump. Let's take a look at Bren and Otak. They set up wide, and you see they go low, land in an ice slide, get wider here so they get more of an inside trajectory here. And the crazy part is, it's just about equal. Maybe it gains a little bit, it's hard to tell. The season will show which strategy works out the best for any teams in the league, but already we're seeing so many different approaches coming out, and that is a big mistake from Kappa. Now Tween forced to get at least in between the two, and ideally ahead of Bren, who is half a second up in front. That's likely not going to happen. Bren with a clean ending between, at least delaying defeat.
Yes, and now Karmine Corp is at 9 points. Sinners will be at 4. Sinners are now forced to get 2 aces in a row. But if they do that, they can still come back though. But it's gonna be very, very difficult, especially with this ending where Bren looks to just have solved the puzzle.
107.7 on this map is also a great time. Do wonder from production what the public world record here is, because that, I think, is very close to the best times people have driven. The low to mid 107s is probably where the benchmark's at.
Okay, so
4.98 is the public world record, so 0.49 instead of a 0.76. Very
still
close.
Really close. We're talking
round.
hundreds of a second separating that from the world record.
Ooh, Bren with a mistake in the drift. Big opportunity for Sinners now. The ace that we talked about that they need to get, they need to get it this round. If Otak gets first, they are done on the map. They will win.
Yeah, so Otak has a little bit on his shoulders, but right now, Sinners are trying their best to snipe it back. Otak in the lead is gonna get this inside line that we just talked about, and he's gonna get back the lead on the uphill, I think. He definitely is. Look at him zooming ahead right there. Now, we are looking for Sinners to try to... They're gonna hope for Otak making a mistake at this point. He's far enough ahead that even if he saves it, he's gonna get a good position. They're both in need of overtaking Otak. Anything short of 4th is gonna be good. I think it looks like he makes it. We have a mistake coming in from Sinners, and Otak taking it home for Karmine Corp.
He is so clean on this map. Otak showed up big in the last rounds of this map, but Bren dominated the first rounds. This is a dangerous map against Karmine Corp.
It definitely looks like it is, and at 10-5, a really, really strong showing here. So we can take a look at some of the highlights of this map before we jump into the next one.
The highlights were dominated by the color blue, I think. Otak here going into the end, 2/10 behind Tween. Then just look at that speed. The overtake and the perfect jump up on the wall. Following that up with a second wall jump as well. He was really, really clean with it.
Yeah, that is so close. Oh my god, he almost didn't make it right there, but if you go so close, you get that ground contact sooner, you get to accelerate sooner, and it saves so much time.
And you have to understand that the car there is about to lose grip, so you have to time exactly right when you press left to make it lose grip so that you get that line. It is, I would say, frame perfect, but it's around about that.
But
just
now,
how well he plays it.
To look at Flip of Faith, a map we haven't seen yet, so let's take you through the map a little bit while they drive here. There are some very, very difficult speed checks. Right here, you want to get a drift to the right and then a jump up here on the half pipe. This is super difficult. You need the...
Here we go.
Yeah, and then another barrel roll up to the next section right here. The lower you jump, the better, but it's also more risky.
You might start to understand why people are banning this map and choosing not to play it, but Sinners chose this as their first choice. They wanted this, and now they really have to make it work against KC. Do you think KC were prepared for this?
I think they were, and it also shows they're 0.3 ahead of the opposition. Tween more than a second behind, but now we come up to the identity. Kappa jumping out to the side here. A couple of jumps into the finish. You need to drive up the side here. Get the barrel roll.
Second barrel roll. You cannot jump too low. Oh, they line it up so perfectly. They're in sync. The two KC players both getting the flips. Brad making that look easy. He's a master of the RPG style, the obstacle tracks in Trackmania. He has so many world records on them, and this, I mean, maybe they just picked into the wrong guy.
This was an impressive showing here. You can see Tween and Kappa both 5 and 6 seconds behind, but it might just be the warm-up round for them. Karmine Corp starting really strong with an ace.
They have so much momentum in this match right now. I remember, Bren, when I was playing Flag Rush with him, he was so good at really motivating you and encouraging you in these moments when you're leading, when you're ahead, constantly giving you feedback, telling you what you need to focus on, what you need to do. Otak's 6 years younger than him, and right now he's probably telling him to just relax. I'm fourth. You got this. Go on, King, and secure this draw.
Go on, King, indeed. But you can see there, players will be risking that jump, and they will be risking the other jumps. The lower you go on the jumps, the more straight your trajectory, the better you are off. But it's so risky. Right now we see Otak in the lead. Kappa and Tween right behind. Oh, Bren trying to attack. It's going to be up to the ending here. Now, Bren, he can actually go ahead and attack as much as he wants because his teammate is on first. His teammate is telling him to risk it, I think. And he does a little bit higher. Tween, unfortunately, with a mistake. Can he overtake Kappa? Doesn't look like it, but Otak has a mistake. Kappa, can he get first? He does get first. And this actually mixes up the points.
Oh, it's very close for third, though. Tween missing it. Otak missing it as well. And it will be a win for Sinners, but just by a hair.
Oh, that is great, though, for Sinners. But, I mean, you cannot really rely on your opponents making these mistakes. That's why they are risking it so much.
Anytime you make a mistake in respawn, it's kind of a round that you shouldn't win. And if you do, it's mostly down to variance, right? Like, oh, I respawned 200s earlier than you.
Yeah.
I didn't clip as bad as you. At that point, it's gonna cost a lot, and that's a big respawn for Karmine Corp.
Now look at the trajectories of these players. Some will go higher, some will go lower. Look how low Tween is going, and look how low Bren tried to go, because it saves so much time. Unfortunately, it was kind of a mistake, and he is now gonna be about a second behind Tween.
Now we're starting to see why Sinners picked this. If they can do those flips more consistently, if that is what they practiced here going in, then this is a map they should be able to win against Karmine Corp on. And right now, this could be an ace, but Tween has clipped the corner and Bren is approaching. His mistake and Tween's mistake will balance out here to a dead tie before the last flip. Bren faster though in the approach, going high. Kappa will get the landing perfectly. Bren going wide with that, but has more speed once again. The low jump.
Oh my god!
Oh, he clips. He clips, and where is Tween? Will Tween overtake? It's 600ths of a second.
That was... I would say that was a good call from Bren. He knew that he could actually take first.
He could get a draw.
He could have gotten a draw right there. So I think it was a good call. It was a good call trying to risk it. Worst case scenario was the ace, which is obviously very scary, but he clutched it out.
But seeing Bren approach that flip, it's like watching magic. There are these micro adjustments he does to get the visual memory right of where his car should be placed, to flip exactly right. Like, he's looking for the exact approach on the flip. Otak here finally recovering from his mistake and going up into first.
Yeah, Bren went a little bit safer that time, and they are just a few car lengths ahead. It's gonna be interesting to see just how much Sinners are gonna risk the ending. But right now, Otak and Bren looking really good coming into this round. About 0.4 between Otak and the first Sinners player, Kappa here. Going into the last right-hander before the identity.
Wide. Bren missed the jump. It's equal now for that second place between three players. Otak with a half a second lead before the flip, but that is not really a significant amount considering all the things that can happen here. His lead is shrinking. Tween is approaching. So is Kappa. Bren going for the low flip once again. Kappa landing high with more speed. He could snipe both to the line. He gets it 500th.
What a great snipe in the ending there from Kappa. Oh my god, landing high but early to get the speed, overtake both Karmine Corp players.
And he's going for that every round. I don't know if you've seen, he tries to land on the top of the hill, which seems so counterintuitive because it's away from the finish. But reducing airtime often pays off in this game. Kappa keeps them well and truly alive in the match. It's so close, 6-5.
6-5, it is super close, and Sinners really want to win this one because it's their map pick. And losing on your own map pick, giving Karmine Corp 2 maps in a row is super scary, especially when Karmine Corp consists of Otak and Bren on the same team here. All players making the first couple of jumps, just a little bit separating them all, but these jumps are really detrimental to your pace.
The big gap there that Otak accrues is that he lands in the 4th gear instead of 3rd for the others. He got so much speed out of the flip landing that That is 6/10 just gained in one single flip. But here we saw some mistakes earlier. You have to balance your car on this landing. There, Tween gears down, unfortunately, and loses a bit of time. Couple going up into second, but Otak, did he do that on purpose? He went around the pillar. It could be an ace for Karmine Corp if they both get the flip. Otak missing it a little bit. Brennan first, but they're so close for second. Now up to the landing. Bren has disappeared from frame of view. It's an ace for Sinners.
Reverse ace. Or, you know, they just came up to first and second out of nowhere. Once again, Kappa did the exact same thing, jumping up high, making sure he gets the speed, and then overtaking the rest of the field before the finish. Wow, what an insane just upset there, and now Sinners getting really close to those 10 points.
6-8. They could win if they get first and third. That's how the format works. I'm starting to get used to this now, and I'm starting to like it a lot as well. So many things still could happen in this match. Otak is going to go for that low flip, upper gear, landing. Kappa with a mistake, and Tween is down there as well. I believe half a second behind the two blue players. So now this could get very spicy if they go up to 9 points with an ace. Brendo, one mistake, Tween's gonna pass him.
Yeah, that was pretty important for Sinners that Bren made a mistake right there. But what it looks like right now is Sinners, as long as they get a point, they're happy. They get closer and closer to that victory. Tween with a mistake, and now it looks like Karmine Corp can actually get an ace if they get both these last jumps. They're 0.7 ahead.
Otak has struggled with this flip, but now going high does not cost enough time to be overtaken. He just needs to survive. Survival is everything here. Tween though, the speed! And Tween will deny at least the ace. It's going to be 9-8 now.
What an important snipe coming in from Tween right there. Making sure that Karmine Corp doesn't get the 3 points. They only get 2. Now it's 8 versus 9 points in favor of Sinners.
Yeah, this is getting very, very interesting. Another round starting out here, and we have not seen any mistakes really in the openings of the round from the Team Sinners, except for that one mistake from Kappa. They've been so good at these opening drifts, and they are two of the best tech players in the world, Kappa and Tween for Team Sinners. But if we see mistakes like that, then that will decide the round.
Yeah, right now,
instantly.
Karmine Corp looking for a first and second or a first and third, anything other than that, and they lose the map. But right now, Tween looks to have made a small mistake, so he's going to find himself in the back of the field. Otak and Kappa fighting for that first place. Kappa really looking to get first. If he gets first, he guarantees that his team gets the map win.
He has such a mental advantage on that flip. He hasn't failed it yet. He's gotten it clean every time. Otak on the corner, clipping out. Kappa just needs to hold first here, and it's a guaranteed map win for his team. He's gotten the flip every time up until this point. Can he do it when it matters most? Right now, Bren's gonna land with more speed, will overtake. Does he flip low enough though? Bren, it's a game of limbo. He clipped. Is Kappa gonna come back with speed?
It's so close. Is he gonna get it? He gets it. Kappa gets 9,000s ahead of Otak and gives the point to Sinners. They get the map win.
9,000s out of Otak, 200s out of Bren. He steals it away from them on the line. If he lost to either of them, it would be an overtime or even a loss for their team. That is so clutch.
It is so clutch, so important for Sinners to get the win on the map of their choice. Now going into third map, which is, hold up, we have a replay coming in.
Replays, of course, from this map. There were plenty. A lot of mistakes happening. This round right here, where a couple with the wide flip was able to deny an ace against his team. And not only that, but also the next couple of rounds where he consistently got those flips and won the map for his team. Tween, though, also had his strong rounds to win that.
Yeah, that was an amazing showcase. Really, really tight. 9-10. Just goes to show that the matchup is super equal. We're going into back and forth once again. This map showcases some of the backwards driving that is in the game, especially in the ending. Not an easy map. It is weaving through very, very precise turns, and I think we talked about Bren being really good at stuff like this.
Yeah, Bren is good at this, and it is also picked by Karmine Corp, so this is their second favorite map of the ones that were available against this particular team. We'll see how Kappa and Tween holds up, but this is a map that clearly Karmine Corp favors their chances on. Otak very low, almost making that mistake we saw in the Alliance match versus Gamers First earlier, but he does survive. They're top 2 right now in that opening round. Tween struggling to keep up here, 0.6 behind. but Kappa still has a chance to deny. Into the backwards part, we're going to see, you mentioned it, might be better on keyboard. Kappa, keyboard here against 2 controller players, and interestingly, Otak actually plays camera 3, so here he has to adjust and play camera 1 for the backwards part. Kappa will be able to get ahead of him and deny the ace in the first round.
Snipe. Once again, getting that pace when it's needed. That's very nice to see from Kappa. Not just this round, but actually multiple times on the last map. Kappa shows up when he needs to and pressures, gets that 1 or 2 overtakes that's needed to make sure that they get the points.
It is that way indeed, and Tween, I mean, think about it. He played the Grand League a few years ago, got demoted like we talked about in the pre-match, and then lost a lot of motivation for Trackmania Esports. He played the Challenger League for a bit. Now he is back in the Grand League, back in the top 16, and I'm sure there's a lot of nerves. His brother from another country, Kappa, is holding down the fort, telling him, you got this, we got this. Just breathe, just relax, we're gonna get back in this match. And they are doing it slowly but surely here. Better round, second time out.
And now Bren is in the lead. Sinner's fighting with Otak. Bren is looking to get that first place. Kappa is looking to fight for it. He loses a little bit because he touched the wall before he went backwards. And now it might actually be Otak getting up to third. Tween still has a lot of speed. Bren is in the lead though. Is Tween going to be able to maintain that second place? It looks like he is. Otak taking it easy into the finish. And the points go to Karmine Corp 2-1.
Bren very consistent so far, 58.5 both these last 2 rounds, showing that that is a pace he can drive almost every time, and if he does that, it's very hard to beat him. The world records here tend to go right below 58 seconds. That's the fastest runs we've seen, and I mean, just half a second is what you have left to gain really before you're risking every single part.
Absolutely. And right now we actually see Karmine Corp on a really good position. Tween going for a little bit of an alternative line set right there, but he did not lose that much time going.
But he makes the recovery. Good 360 on the ice. Kappa and Otak far ahead though. It's a battle for first between the 2 players up front and a scramble as well in the back here. These positions matter. They have to get ahead of their opponents from the other team to secure more points. Tween could get a position here, or 2 even. This could be another ace if he just gets a car length in the end. He goes for an inside trajectory. That is so clean. Tween is going to secure the ace here for Sinners.
For Sinners, absolutely. That's important. That's important 3 points. Sinners is now really close to actually winning, or getting ahead at least. 5-4 for Sinners. Karmine Corp really wants to win the map that they picked. They're going to put up a little bit more pressure, I think, now.
They are. Tween's gotten into the rhythm. That was a very clean end to take it away from KC. Hope he can repeat that performance and continue this momentum. Bren and Otak, though, they won the first map, they lost the second, and if they lose this one, that is a blow to their motivation for sure. So it's important to keep this pace now for Bren. Yeah. Get back to that 58.5, no more mistakes, and show that, you know, lead the way for his teammate here that we're going to win this map.
You definitely don't want to lose on your own map pick here. Otak trying his best not to get that last place. Bren on a good lead, but Kappa is not out of it just yet. Is he going to be able to overtake here? Tween and Otak fighting for that last place once again. Bren, good lead. Kappa trying to get closer. Otak almost overtaking Tween. Is he going to be able to do it with a final jump? Almost. We're talking about 100s, 200s of a second separating Tween and Otak.
That is a draw. That is a good draw for Sinners. They keep that annoying 1-point lead that if anything happens, if this keeps going, we will still win. So Karmine needs to find a better round than that. And Bren was driving so fast. 58.4 is really pushing the envelope, showing all of what he can do here. And he will take first places, but he needs Otak to be there with him. Otak cannot get those 4th places. They are gonna advance up the scoreboard. Here though, Otak, first place. I think you heard what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, they are pushing it quite a lot right now. Bren also overtaking his teammate right there. Really good 360 coming in there from both players at Karmine Corp. Kappa trying his best to attack here. He needs to push it here from the back. Is he gonna be able to make it?
Goes into the backwards part. Quick keyboard taps now, left and right, just trying to stay on the inside trajectory. You have to time these perfectly. The approach here, around the pillar, around the other pillar. He maneuvered past them all, and Kappa is going to win the round, and Tween gets third.
Oh my
God. They're up
God.
to 8 points now.
And once again, Kappa does the thing that we see him do in the previous map. He just overtakes when it's needed. He pushes when it's needed, and he excels at it.
The margins have been on his side, always a few hundredths, and you might say, oh, he's so lucky, but he knows exactly how much he needs to push and how much he needs to just let go. Like, I'm not going to go all in this corner, and it's enough to win. That's all that matters.
So much pressure on Bren right now. If Bren doesn't get first, they lose their own map pick. So Bren currently on second, a couple of car lengths behind Tween, and he is... Oh, Tween with a mistake! And Bren now makes it back up to first.
The map round has now flipped a little bit because Otak could potentially catch up to Tween and ruin that near guaranteed winning chance here. Kappa, though, has the opportunity to clutch once again. Does he know exactly how to gain 3/10 almost on Bren here in the ending? Good speed through the checkpoint. The next turn here, weaving past the pillars. Good approach for this one. Up the hill now for Kappa. If he gets first, he could win! And he gets on the inside line. He crosses the line with his back right tire before Bren, and that is the map one. Amazing snipe yet again by Kappa.
Sinners really are showcasing what snipes can do there. Like, you might be a little bit behind in the start, but come by the ending and you just push everything you can. Do you think they practice the identities a little bit more?
Oh, they must have just sat and grinded these and figured out all the strategies. The landings they had to build up speed were so good. Even Tween as well, getting a couple of snipes in the ending here, showing that, you know, we can play your map. We don't... You picked it for us. We were gonna do this anyways.
You can also argue whether or not this ending is keyboard favored.
Yeah, we will see throughout the season. Players like Grenadier are gonna have a challenge, but that snipe from Kappa was harsh.
I think Grenadier is gonna use keyboard for that ending. There's no shot he doesn't.
It could be that he must actually, but we are on to slow down. This is a map we saw banned in the first 2 matches, and we're seeing for the first time. So let's take you through it. We again have outside dirt lines. These really show up a lot in the Grand League maps because players can push their limit on them if they dare to go for it. A lot of reactor boosters here on slow grass, so you have to be good at finding the right lines.
We might actually see people go for a line that gives them airtime there because it is penalty grass. Into a tight left-handed drift, you can overdrift that section, you'll lose some speed, but at least you won't miss the jump here. Getting really close, one more right-hander, and we go into the identity, going over a fragile block, which means if you get airtime here, your car is gonna break.
Kappa, I think, broke his car a little bit. The 2 Karmine Corp players are looking for the ace this first round, and they will get it. 56.9 and 57.1 is a good start for the French squad. But yeah, the slowdowns here, the reason they go low airtime, the reason they don't jump, and the reason they try to stay grounded is fragile.
Yeah.
It's fragile.
Basic fragile, your car will literally not be able to drive up the hill if you get airtime because you'll destroy your wheels. So that's why the map is called slowdown, is because you need to be slow and calculated in the ending if you want to be fast.
So it's not the most visually impressive identity, but it takes a lot of skill to perfectly figure out when your car's going to lift off and prevent it. Here, though, it doesn't matter. And as you said, we could see airtime coming through there. Otak and Bren will remain grounded and keep the speed going into the bobsleigh. Here we cross the cruise control, and they keep the speed. They enter with 272 there for Otak. Good enough to catch up to and pass Kappa as Bren hits the wall.
Okay, but still not looking too bad for Karmine Corp. Otak is still in the lead, and he had a great identity, so let's see if he can do that one more time here. Tween right behind him, but Otak getting a little bit of a better line. He goes wider here, gets the tightness after this. This is really what goes... Oh, it gets airtime, and Tween gets the overtake. Is Kappa gonna overtake as well? No, Kappa also with a small mistake. This is the epitome of the saying, slow is smooth, and smooth is fast.
Ooh, slow and steady wins the race is the one I've heard, and, well, it works if you're steady on that uphill. If you jump, though, any airtime is almost certain death, or, well, not death.
Okay,
you lose a lot of time.
Little hyperbole coming in there from the casters. But yeah, no, definitely a cold and calculated identity. You gotta be really, really specific with the lines here. Here we could see some airtime, as said before, because the slowdown you get from the penalty grass is pretty tremendous. And if you can get a little bit of airtime, you actually gain a lot of speed.
Here up the hill, we see the players actually just let the car start a slide from the icy tires itself. They're not really braking that much in the drift, and that actually gives you more angle than a regular drift. So good mechanic to use right there. Across the fragile block again. Kappa having to release because he was so close to the checkpoint. He could still win this battle though against Otak, and air brake there to keep his back wheels grounded and make sure he doesn't break the car. Now Bren is chasing for this second place on the ace, but it's 200s in Kappa's favor. He again snipes in a different way.
In a different way, but still looking really good for KC right now. 6-2. A dominant position to put themselves in at the start of this map. Now, Sinners can come back, especially as we've seen Kappa be able to also play this map, but every other map, when push comes to shove, he can definitely snipe it out.
He can, but they need to stop the bleeding right now. They lost points nearly every round in Tween. Losing ground in the start again puts a lot of pressure on Kappa to clutch up and get the first place here against the French players. We know they have good endings on this map, particularly Otak, looked very good in that first round. And now up the hill, the icy slide will come through. Kappa's lead is diminishing. Brett is right there on his tail right now, up the grass dirt hill, and we see them going in to the identity.
Yes, just that last right-hander, and now we go into the identity, sliding in, not getting airtime. Bren almost jumping there, but Kappa maintains the lead. Is he going to be able to take it right here in the ending? Did not get the right slide, and Kappa will maintain that lead. Just like we said, Kappa will get it, will take the snipe for the victory, will get that for his team when it counts.
Kappa's playing a fantastic match so far in his first Grand League match of 2023. Looks great for him. And Tween right now, eager to follow his teammate, I bet. I know they practice just as much. These guys probably play in the same house together, but once you get into a rut, it can be so hard to get out of. And a double crash here might put this map and their winning chances on it in jeopardy, as KC could run away with it.
Yeah, right now, if they end like they are positioned right now, KC will get that ace, will get that 3 points in the bag, and will get the map when putting it to a 2-2.
Oh, Kappa is not done fighting for it yet. The spirit is there. He's going to try all the way to the line. One airtime, one small liftoff, one corner clip, one anything, and he's right there with them. But if they remain clean in the identity, then he really cannot gain enough track to catch back up. Last drift here, the two French players will not break their car, and they take this map.
They do indeed take this map. 10-3, a pretty dominant showing here coming in for KC.
On the map that Sinners chose, so they can do the reverse as well, taking the other team's map.
True, and as we can see some highlights coming in right here, we have a mistake from Kappa. Tween trying to attack, not quite getting it. Oof, but that was the jump out coming in from KC.
Yeah, that was an important round for Sinners, one of their better ones, but then we had the round as well where Kappa was able to defend against Bren in the ending. We're going to go on to the next map now, Agility Dash. 4 new players out into the ring to see what they've come up with.
So I can't help, but I'm going to compare the players to the last time we saw Agility Dash, where we almost saw no mistakes.
I feel like comparing someone's consistency to Mutta is not unfair, but...
No, but still though, like, this is also important for the other contenders that are playing, that are watching these matches, trying to study each other's teams. Seeing the consistency on a map like this could be crucial on what you want to pick and ban in the future.
Oh, could for sure. As we go into round number 1 here, we see a lot of the same lines. The 5th gear in the start is present in all players' repertoire, and then across the dirt jump, Bren is almost missing it. He lands on the edge, doesn't lose as much as he easily could have there, and maybe has some chances of coming back later on. Tween missing the gear shift a little bit. That's going to make him lose time to Kappa on Otak, and now do the players do the snow line here? We saw it gain about a 10th. Otak doing it. Kappa and Tween deciding not to. The speed slide across the platform. Kappa will be in first, but Otak right there with him now through the uphill drift. This is where Kappa's excellence in tech should shine. The 2018 Tech World Champion on drifting tracks like these. He will gain a few hundreds to Otak. played in the most recent multi-style World Championship in this summer. Across the knife edge now, Tween and Kappa should have hold on this round. If it isn't for the identity to destroy it. Kappa and Otak both jumping. Bren and Tween fighting for third. Kappa though making a mistake, respawning. Bren respawning as well. Otak still clean in first. Last part is not the hardest part of the identity. He will remain there. But who gets that third place in the end? Is it Kappa or is it Bren?
Yeah, this will decide
Kappa.
whether or not we're looking at a tie or a victory here, but we will look at a draw. Yes, 1 point for each of the teams. A little slow of a start, but still looking good for both teams. So let's go into the next round here. I think we're gonna see Bren and Otak. It looked like they had a really good start last time. It looked like they were able to keep the pace up, and they just need to be able to be a little more consistent in the ending. Bren, unfortunately, getting too low of a jump, and it's now up to Otak to maintain first to see if they can get Kappa also with a huge mistake. And I take back what I just said. It looks like Otak and Bren can take home 2 points at the very least right now.
So 1v1, Otak versus Tween, one of the youngest players in the league versus one of the oldest. Tween has about 10 years of experience in Trackmania Esports. Otak is 18 and played since he was 16. So he has had a formidable rise in the game in just 2-3 years of playing, and now finds himself in the top league in first place on his first match day here in the new season. Doing well for his team Karmine Corp, but he needs to get there. He needs to get to the finish line in first to really lock in the points.
Yeah, but it must feel great to be Otak right now, knowing that you are just at the beginning of your esports career and you're still putting in so much work. Look at him, he is far ahead, 0.4 ahead of Tween. Just the pace here is incredible. Is he going to be able to make the ending happen here? Tween is looking for a mistake from Otak. He might actually save it. He doesn't need to be too aggressive. He just needs Otak to make a mistake, but Otak looks so clean with it, jumping from platform to platform right into the finish.
He takes that first place, but for these players in third and fourth, no changes will be had. Either could have maybe resulted in a tie, but that is KC taking the first winning round on the map, now jumping up 3-2.
I think Tween made the right move there. He lost about 0.4 in the ending, but he saved all of it. And the reason he did that is because he knew he wasn't gonna go down to third, and he was just hoping for the pressure to make Otak like a small mistake.
Yeah, and I mean, the time Otak drove was fast too. He almost approached 128. The world record is 128.7, and he drove like a 129.06. So he was close to the ideal pace on this map as well, as far as we know of. That is being said, we don't know their hidden personal best. Again, a small mistake in the start. This time it is Otak jumping too low on that dirt jump, now putting him in fourth place. But he has the pace to catch up here. That's not really the problem. The problem is, of course, the ending on this map that we see a lot of players struggle with, getting through the agility dash without crashing. Big speed slide for Otak, actually matching the speed Mutta had earlier. Will catch up to the other players.
And that is no small feat, but Bren maintains the lead right now. We need to see Sinners try to push it here in the ending. Otak with a small mistake, and that's gonna put Sinners up to at least tie the situation. But if Kappa can overtake, if Kappa can make that snipe happen once again on Bren, they can actually get a couple of points here.
I think we saw a small mistake from Tween. Had to release to avoid hitting the corner, and they're both losing time, so Bren really just has to survive the identity, doesn't have to push it, and I think he recognized that situation. But still, even if you do, and you're trying to save this, it is a lot of quick jumps in succession that you don't really have time to line up for, but he will survive. 129.03, another incredible time.
Yeah, as you said, 0.3, 0.4 away from the world record. So definitely some crazy times coming in from both the teams, and they look very equal when it comes to this match. 4-3 as of right now.
It is in the mistakes. It's all in the mistakes. If everyone drives clean, we can really get a good indicator of their pace, but it's a hard map to survive, especially when you want to do all the strats to get a 129 to fight for first. We're not fighting for fourth places here, as Otak said in the World Cup final this year. Time he did indeed get fourth, but I don't think he's looking for fourth places here either. I think he's going all in. Went for a risky line last round and crashed. This time, it's a brand new opportunity to go for first.
Did get a good gear up right there. His teammate, unfortunate with a mistake coming in from Bren. Now Otag will be the player to come in with the attack.
Beautiful line. Hopefully. That was so good. Look at the speed now, 634. I think he in this segment alone gained like 2/10 on everyone else. Tween the only player able to keep up with Otag. That was masterful.
That was masterful indeed, in pushing himself all the way up to first place right now. He needs to hold it to hopefully make his team get into a draw. But we have seen him be very, very clean on the identity as we jump into the knife edge. Get the low airtime. Hopefully he's going to be able to make it. Kappa looking for, once again, getting a snipe. Is Kappa going to do what he does best? Get back up into first place, taking Otag's points away from him. Let's see if he can do it. 0.3 separating the players. Otag with a mistake. And now it already looks like it's going to be a ace coming in for Sinners. 3 very important points. Are they going to be able to get that finish? They are.
Oh, and that is big for Sinners to not lose further ground. This match could look very different if Otag survives there, but he does not. Bren gets to finish. They're going to get one more little resting moment before the next round as Otag just does a little bit of practice.
Could you hear my little Otag attack?
Otag attack.
I was proud when I said it, but yeah, no, I think that's a good alliteration kind of thing.
That was very nice. You know, you got the freestyle experience as we run it back. Otag in the back of the field.
Oh, was that a mistake coming in from Bren?
That was indeed. 0.8 of a second lost.
Okay, so that means that Sinners actually can go ahead and try to get another ace. I think what they're going to do is they're going to save it because 2 points is more than enough for them. If they get 2 points, they get up to 8, and then that's so much pressure put on Karmine Corp.
Here is the problem though. They can't drive too safe because Otag is so fast that he could snipe them and get a draw. He's so good in this part. Inside line, early speed slide, but this time the speed is not there. He lost about 10 speed and Tween remains ahead of Otag. Up the hill now, through the water drift. We saw Otag had a bit of problems with this, lining up the exit around the corner. You can't really see it.
That is so
next
close
to the pillar, but he makes it through. Keeps up with Tween's pace, still remaining at about that same gap, 2/10 now on the knife's edge. Got this really good last time. Tween gets it just as good though, jumping across the grass, trying to avoid hitting the penalty grass. Otag is faster. He is overtaking first. Does he have the control necessary to not crash this round and secure a win even for Karmine Corp as Kappa has crashed, and he will. Otag, very well done there to keep them in the game.
Impressive gameplay coming in from Otag, and now the teams are looking a little more even, but what is scary is Sinners has put themselves in a position where they can actually take the map win by getting an ace.
Ace unnecessary. A lot of mistakes early here in the round, sometimes from Sinners, but more so I think we've seen mistakes here from Karmine Corp. They need to get that out of their habits, go for more safe plays, because if they crash, an ace is surely bound to happen eventually, and they cannot afford it anymore.
But right now, it is looking a little bit scary here. Tween jumping very, very far, but does get a little bit closer to the rest of the field. Bren in the lead. All of the players, none of them really making any mistakes. They're kind of close. 0.2 separating the players, the contenders right now. Tween is a little bit in the back, not getting the right drift, but is he going to be able to take it back? Kappa with a very, very late slide, and now Karmine Corp looking to take the ace.
Oh, they are on the hunt right now for those 3 points. They're feeling it. You see 1 and 2 on your car. You know this is a good opportunity to get back in the match and take the lead. But here in this grid, Otag again struggles. This is a bit of a haunting moment in the map for him, and he gets passed by both Sinners players onto the knife's edge now. Things are falling apart. He's out of the rhythm. Oh, but as we say that, Kappa clips the knife's edge and he will lose speed. So this is still a win on the cards for KC if they can survive the identity. Tween going for the jumps. He's quite slow here. Otag looking for an ace. Otag gaining about half a second, and it's just enough for that ace to happen.
That is
1 point away.
So important for Karmine Corp. 9-7 right now. Sinners, they have no option but to ace them back, and if they don't, they will lose the map.
Ace or bust here for Sinners. Quite the situation to find yourself in against 2 of the best players in the world. and some of the best that Franz has to offer. Tween tilting the car there for an early landing, really knowing what he has to do here. The ace is what he's chasing.
And they definitely are looking to...
Mistake from Otak. He hit the wall there on the dirt approach, so one player is out.
One player is out, and it's now up to Bren to stop and deny Sinners from getting this ace. Getting a little bit more speed than Tween, getting the overtake. Is he going to be able to maintain that lead? Hopefully he is. Kappa needs to maintain first as well. Bren with a good turn. Is he going to get the speed slides? It looks super fast. What a slide coming in from Bren, taking it up to first place.
He got that just how he needed to in this important round. If he holds first, they win the map, and they go up to match point 3 maps out of the 4 they need in the series. But they're right there, the Sinners, just behind, chasing, trying to find anything they can. The knife edge here is dangerous. We saw Kappa fail it last time. Will they all survive it? Bren going high to get more speed there. Low air time across the grass now. Remains just tied with Tween. He needs to be in the end. Bren clips. He's not out of it yet, though. He's still ahead of Tween in the ending. Tween needs to pass him as well. Bren to stay second. They will win the map, and Karmine Corp go up to 3-2.
That was such a clutch save from Bren. Like, he could have easily have flown out the map at that point. He also could have, if he panicked, could have respawned because he saw he was gonna clip. But he chose to see if he could save the turn, and he did.
10-9. What a map. Agility dash looking quite clean from these players.
They are 10-9. Yeah, again, really, really close match. As we see a highlight coming in here in a second. I think this is where
the snipe.
Otak snipes Otak with the attack again, getting ahead of Sinners, taking the ace for the team.
That was a big moment in the match right there, just going all in, even though he had a guaranteed win in third, decided to go for it. And then also this beautiful speed slide from Bren, something we'll see more of in the tournament for sure. We are now warming up on reps. To remind you that we saw this map earlier on, it's the one where they go on the beams, the tiny little balancing beams.
The beam, and once again, we cannot reiterate just how much or stress just how tiny these beams are. Like, you don't have a lot of room to land on, and the second one, you don't have a lot of room to slide into. That's also where we saw Mime with multiple mistakes on that second beam.
Yeah, they really have to be precise, especially when they're driving at, I think the last beam they're up at 300, 400 speed across the beam. So we do see Bren going for the outside approach there. He is trying to get that line we saw Mime and Alcon go for in the BDS versus ITB match. But here, I think it's Sinners that's off to the best start. They have the best winning chances right now in the first round.
It looks like it is indeed Sinners that are taking it home. Tween in the lead, but we cannot count Bren as a chance to snipe here. They are neck and neck here in the lead, overtaken with a little bit of a tighter line, getting that third gear, maintaining it, and now it's just up to a couple of jumps. Enough to overtake Tween, and it will be Sinners getting the first 2 points.
Clean first round from the top two. Kappa making a mistake there, actually. You can see 1.9 seconds behind, but still enough to beat Otak. And Sinners go up into the lead. We could have our first 7-map series here if Sinners take this and we go to the final map that was randomly chosen at the end. If we do, that would be amazing.
I don't know if you remember, but that final map is parkour, which is just going to be hilarious to see. But right now, Karmine Corp are able to take it home if they get this map victory. And I think they're hoping that they can do that because that parkour is looking scary. And Bren with the most risky outside line I've seen in a while, but it does come back up the first because of it. The wider you go there, the more speed you will get in the exit. The momentum will carry through, but it is so risky.
That is just so beautiful. And like, for a player like me, doing that would be taking a massive risk. For him, it's just like, it's calculated, it's controlled. He knows what he's going for, and he's just doing the movements to get it happen.
Bad gear.
Very close round between all four here. Bad gear will cause Bren to drop down a little bit. The two Sinners looking for an ace right now. Kappa clipping though, leaving an opportunity for Bren to take first, and maybe even Otak to come back into second. And what actually happened here at the end, we see Tween gets second, Kappa gets third, Otak actually failed.
OTAC did fail, but as we said, there's nothing wrong with that. It is such an incredibly difficult, not the most flashy, not the most showy, but definitely one of the most difficult identities of this map pack, just because the beams that you land on are so tiny, they're so narrow, and you need so much speed.
You really do, especially for the ending jump. If you're not fast enough, you won't make it up to that risky finish. The closest finish line,
exactly.
You literally won't make it there, and that is a problem we've seen some players have.
Yes, but right now we see Bren in the lead, OTAC fighting with Kappa for that third place. Sinners are in the lead in terms of points, but nothing is decided quite yet. We haven't seen any team be clearly on a higher pace than the others, but Bren really showcasing some speed right now.
He is on a great run out of the start with that outside line, making it work into round number 3. Into the loop now. You want to go diagonal to the right to avoid that drift that you see. The upside down part, that costs speed, and he gets it nicely. Sinners now on the back foot. This is an ace waiting to happen for KC, unless Kappa, who has clutched up all series long, can pass one of the players and deny it. Lands early, OTAC clips the beam, and that is a good opportunity for them now to not only win the round, but they get a tie. Bren does remain ahead.
That is a draw. I mean, that identity will decide so much, so many times in a row, because people will fail left and right. I don't think we've seen a single try on this map where everybody got the identity clean.
I want to see a round where just everyone is within hundredths on that last jump, and some incredible precision from the players being necessary to edge out the win. Right now, it's been a bit of a brawl, but of course the pressure is so high. They know that this is a really important match to win. You start the season on a win, you feel great. If you don't, then you kind of feel like all the practice you put in maybe wasn't enough.
All of the practice just doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter.
No, but definitely important for Sinners. They have a lot of pressure on them right now as Karmine Corp. If they win this map, they win the series. So Bren is trying to push it a little bit harder. They have nothing to lose. If they lose this map, they have another try. If Sinners lose this map, it is over.
It is indeed. Anyone who's read Ninja's book on gaming knows that if you accept defeat, then you lose twice. You should not be okay with losing matches, but they are going to try everything they can. Both teams, of course, they're putting on a masterful performance here. Bren across the last beam, not the best speed, but he makes it onto the line. Tween able to deny the ace after Kappa failed here, and Karmine Corp are going to balance it out.
I mean, Tween almost missed the finish. Like, he would have... So, there's two finishes. There's one on the beam there, and then there's one in the water just a little bit further back. And you don't actually lose that much. You lose like maybe 500ths of a second, but those 500ths are important when you're playing at this level.
Yeah, it's the difference between like first and third sometimes. It's the difference between an ace and a draw. Like several points will be gained or lost in which finish you're able to reach, so you always go for the top one. There's a famous quote from the 2008 World Champion of Trackmania, Frostbuel, that I keep coming back to, which is that you should always risk the ending of a map because someone else will. And we see that play out here. Sometimes the outside lineout from both Karmine players catching up. They are risking before the finish, and they're catching back up to their opposition 5-5. We're halfway in map 6, and this could go anyone's way, but I hope it goes to map 7.
I hope it goes to map 7 so we can see parkour. Also, has anybody told you have a surprising amount of just random quotes?
I like quotes. Quotes are stories in few words. It's very exciting. Just like this round, finally all 4 players have survived the start. Will we have an exciting identity to conclude the round? Kappa's in the lead on the first jump. He jumps onto the beam, but he misses. And Tween now has to pick up the pieces where he left off. Ren respawns. OTAC clean into the finish. Tween missed. Does he get the finish? He does, and that's a draw.
And another draw, 6-6. I mean, these matches have been incredibly close. Just going to show that Karmine Corp and Sinners are a great matchup for each other, giving us some of the best esports that we can ask for.
Yeah, Tween there. Very quick save to realize he missed the finish on the left. Water bounce into the back finish and collect the draw. 6-6 now. And we are going to reach a conclusion soon because they're approaching that 7-point threshold when you can ace and win. Just like that. One more round of points for either team here will do it. Question is who's going to get the upper hand. Tween a little bit behind here before the dirt. We have not seen the KC players miss that outside dirt line. They're actually very consistent at it.
They are super consistent, but they also don't go all the way outside. They kind of safe it in a way where I think they are comfortable with going for it without making any mistakes. And right now they're looking to get that ace, which would be huge for them. Kappa needs to do what he's done for the last 4 maps in a row, where he snipes it out when it's important. Hopefully he can make it a tie going into the identity after this downhill, getting down to 3rd gear, maintaining it, and let's see if Kappa can get the snipe. Bren in the lead, Otak right in front of him, gets a smaller jump, gets more speed, snipes Otak. Can he get back up to Bren? He cannot. Otak almost getting it back though.
That is so clutch from Kappa. 8 points to the opposing team is way better than 9. That gives you some breathing room. A draw is still possible, but this was a very close round. 7 thousandths of a second. But Kappa keeps getting them on his side.
Yes.
The margins are always on his side. I don't know how he does it.
I mean, I think he's just very calm and collected under pressure. As we've said many times before, he has such an amazing amount of just pure experience from playing against these players and playing on this level that I think he's just calm and collected when it comes to high pressure situations like that, and that's where he capitalizes.
Yeah, he really knows just to focus on one round at a time, not think about the bigger picture too much, just drive as fast as he can and isolate all other intrusive thoughts. The KC players are again coming through on 1st and 2nd with that outside line. Bren having to release a bit though to not clip the corners, but you see the same situation as last round. The 2 blue players ahead of red, and they have a tough ending. They have to do it again, Jnic, but they cannot afford to lose 2 points. Kappa has to get up to that 1st place, or Tween has to pass Bren, but either situation is very unlikely to happen. The identity here could decide the entire match.
Kappa needs to get 1st place. He needs to overtake both these players, and he's looking to do so. Otak with a huge mistake. Kappa actually getting the overtake, and he will get it, making sure that they got another win. And now they're both 9-9.
How does he do it every time? Every round.
Kappa the sniper now might actually switch to FPS games with the amount of snipes that he's getting. God damn.
Taking the title away from Evon, who used to be known as the Polish sniper in the Trackmania Grand League circuit. Kappa, I think he's claiming that title for himself this season, already pulling more than his own weight in this game to keep his team alive. But this start was not the best in the very important 9-9 round. Here, a draw is necessary, or they have to win if they want to go to map 7. And KC, they're just 1 player away from passing Tween here and then taking the entire game.
Yeah, right now, as it stands, Karmine Corp will get the victory if these are the positions. But as we've seen, this identity can shake up the positions quite a lot. Tween really doing all he can to pressure Bren as much as possible, getting a few different lines coming into the looping and take us through the identity here.
Okay, Tween on the inside line, trying to keep 3rd gear. Kappa approaching Otak, a little bit more speed in the down. It looks like that could transform into an overtake if he gets a good landing on the 1st pipe here. But Otak holds it for now. Kappa again passing a player. Is that going to be a draw? It is indeed.
Oh my god, Kappa, every single time that he's needed, he just shows up out of nowhere, getting the overtakes. What an impressive performance by Kappa on this matchup. And it's now 10-10. We're going into overtime.
We're going into overtime, and we're putting a lot of highlights on Kappa here, but Bren drove a fantastic 106.7, very close to the publicly known world record on the track. It's right around that pace right there. So Bren, under pressure right now, delivering the goods for KC as well. These 2 players are really shining right now for their respective squads. Who is going to win the match as a whole, though? This time, Kappa has a way better start. Remember, he came back from a 0.4 deficit last round. Now he's ahead of his opposition.
Yeah, now Kappa hopefully can maintain that lead. If he gets the same identity as he has the other times, it looks like he can get that 1st place. Tween needs to push it. He is behind the rest of the field. Bren and Otak getting further and further away from Sinners, and it looks like they could take it home, but Kappa once again is maybe able to get the snipe. It's gonna be Kappa trying to overtake all of KC by himself. Will he get this final snipe? Will he be able to get into another round of overtime? Bren and Otak in the lead. Kappa going for the low jump. He gets an overtake. Is he able to take Bren? No, he makes a mistake. And Otak comes back. It is KC getting the victory, winning the match.
How many times can you ask a man to secure first places from bad spots? Kappa, heroic effort from Tween as well. And what a match we just saw, but Karmine Corp proving to be the stronger squad in this first game of the season for them.
Absolutely. That must feel great for Karmine Corp getting that over with instead of going into the final map there.
Map 7 on parkour with all this pressure, I cannot imagine. Let's have a look at some of those replays there. Kappa, I think the highlight of this match. Just time and time again, look at the speed here, finding it against the other players. That was won by 7 thousandths, and then again, you see him third place going into the identity, gets one here on the early mistake, and then more speed across the next beam, another snipe. Just, I can watch these all day.
Absolutely heroic effort coming in there from Kappa, really trying to pull where it's needed. And I mean, I'm just impressed. I am just incredibly impressed with that amount of snipes.
It is really, really fun, and we have so much more Trackmania coming up. There's one final game today. It is labeled the match of the day on the schedule, where we will see Solary, that is Carl Jr., the 5-time world champion, and Pack, the winner of Arctic Gaming Experience, also 2016 world champion, against Berlin International Gaming, 2 Trackmania streamers and personalities, Massa and Grenadi, who are also among the very best players this game has.
Definitely one of the most interesting maps or teams we're gonna see fight against each other, and it's gonna happen right after this break that we're gonna enter to, so don't go anywhere.
See you guys soon.